So we know when we talked about the flour is defined, that refined wheat is milled, all wheat is milled, but the refined wheat has the bran and germ removed. So the endosperm is still there. And this is a lot to produce appealing texture and longer shelf life. But because of the nutrients that are removed with the bran and germ, in Canada, the refined wheat is enriched. It's enriched with thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and iron. So those nutrients are put back in order to account for the losses in the milling. And it's fortified with folic acid, and that more relates to our public health since 1998 decision to fortify white flour and pasta and cornmeal with folic acid to address neural tube defects. Now, there's also the option voluntary to enrich with vitamin B6, pantothenic acid, magnesium, and calcium. And so this is all to say that these refined wheat products, although there are removal of nutrients, there are nutrients added back in through mandatory enrichment and fortification. So this is relevant for us to keep in mind. And this particular research spotlight, I think, is a really good fit into this story here because it specifically examined refined grains in order to see whether consumption of those refined grains made a difference in the nutrient intake of US adults. And so this study used a really large data set, the NHANES data set, that's the National Health and Nutrition Examination Study. It's an ongoing database in the US that includes dietary intake data. And so they looked at more than 20,000 adults and they did a sophisticated mathematical and statistical modeling exercise to examine the nutrient intake of these 20,000 adults after they removed their consumption of various refined grains. That is breads, ready-to-eat cereals, RTEC, and all refined grains. And the results of this analysis show that when those refined grains were removed, when certain specific ones were removed, it resulted in a higher percent of these people not meeting recommendations for nutrients like fiber, folate, iron, magnesium. And so this specific study, published in a high quality journal, is establishing that refined grains do contribute to nutrient adequacy in the diet of US adults. So this is a really good research study to demonstrate this and provide this evidence.